It's The Lit Show with Jeremy Fee. New episode each Tuesday. Authors welcome, comments encouraged. Hello everyone, welcome to The Lit Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Fee. As always, I've got something special for you today. I've got a frog in my throat. Just as a disclaimer, I'm fighting off a sore throat. I've also got the cats hanging out with me, Jack and Daxter, in case you hear any background noises. It's probably the cats running around, knocking into things. Today, I've got my September 2022. If you're watching this video in real time, it's right now. My currently reading for the month with my to be read TBR list of what I'm hoping to read for the rest of the month. There is so much going on. There are a lot of exciting readathons. This is month 2 of Book Trek 2022. This month in Book Trek, the goal is to read something that's not one of the main Star Trek series from the TV series and that sort of thing. So I am reading a graphic novel for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. And this was made after the new Kelvin timeline Star Trek movies. So it's got some alien characters at Starfleet Academy, and it does a crossover with the Kelvin timeline version of the original series characters. So it is something different from one of the main Star Trek TV series. And it's a graphic novel. I may be done reading it by the time that this video comes out. It's also SciFiSeptember, so a lot of what you will hear me talking about here briefly are science fiction books. It's also SciFiSeptember, though I've heard some people may be calling Shakespeare September something different besides SciFiSeptember. I've got to figure that out. Margaret Pinard, who is an amazing author, mostly historical fiction, some supernatural historical fiction in there, invited me to do a buddy read for SciFiSeptember. She's reading Othello for what I believe is the first time. So I am rereading Othello, which is one of my favorite Shakespearean plays. Should be fun to do that. It is also Shorty September, in which people encourage others to read short stories or novellas, shorter works of fiction. I'm sure I'll get some short story collections or something in there for Shorty September. I'm sure there are plenty more readathons going on, but that's probably enough for now. So we've got that Starfleet Academy book, we've got Othello. I may butcher some names here, but my BookTube buddy, fellow author, Peveo, that brilliant creative mind over there at the YouTube channel Attention, he's got a book that just came out, and it is called, well, the last word is decline. The word before decline, I assume, is a French word. I'm going to pronounce it the Paraline Decline, because I like the idea of it rhyming, Paraline Decline, but that's probably not how it's really pronounced. I apologize. I did learn a little bit of French when I was a little kid in Louisiana, but I haven't had to speak French for most of my life. I'm excited to read that novel. That is a priority for the month. Liam, aka Himvar, from the BookTube channel Liam's Lyceum, has a buddy read going on for Martha Wells' book, Wheel of the Infinite. And you may think of Martha Wells mainly from the Murderbot series, but Martha Wells has actually written more than just the Murderbot series. So it'll be interesting to read this book that I believe is a fantasy novel, Wheel of the Infinite. I just picked it up as an audio book. NetGalley was kind enough to provide me a free ebook version of a book called Station Eternity by Mur Lafferty. It is a science fiction book set on a space station that is also a murder mystery novel. And that is such a cool concept. I've already started reading it and I love it so far. The main character is very endearing. She is an interesting person because, much like characters from Agatha Christie like Miss Marple, she has murders happen all the time in her life. And this book addresses the idea that the police, the law enforcement authorities, find that very suspicious. And so she ends up being blamed sometimes. She has to solve murders in order to clear herself, explain things to the authorities. But she develops this aspect of her personality where she is afraid to be around other human beings because she's afraid people are going to get murdered around her. So she's gone to live on this space station trying to isolate herself. I want to read R. St. Clair's book Code Red. It should be arriving in the mail in the next day or so. I ordered it from Amazon as a physical book. You may know Another great booktube author tuber couple. He wrote a lit RPG book and has sent me an advanced reading copy. He emailed me, got a hold of me. I agreed to read the book before that I realized how long it was, but I am excited to read it because I love role-playing games. I love RPG stuff. The genre of RPG is lit really interesting to me. It should be a fun adventure book to read. I also have another book from NetGalley. When I was listening to Liam's Lyceum, he talked about the fact that Aaron Evans had a new book coming out called Empire of Exiles, fantasy novel. I've read Aaron Evans stuff before, her D&D inspired work set in the Forgotten Realms. I got a little envious and thought, well, if Liam aka Himvar gets to read that book before it comes out, maybe I could request it as well. And it worked. NetGalley approved me. Thank you to the publishers there. I can read Empire of Exiles either this month or next month. Having said all of that, I still am behind on reading the books by Dane Cobain that I wanted to read. So since it is Shorty September, I think it would be a good time to read Dane Cobain's short story collection, Scarlet Sins. Though I've also been trying to get to his horror books, Meat and Former Lee. I'm hopeful to read those at some point, either September or October. Who knows? That's a lot of books. Now that I've started listing them out, I've become doubtful about just how much SciFiSeptember I can get done. But I've got those foundation books by Isaac Asimov that have been sitting on the shelf. I would love to read those. I keep hearing all the time, especially from John over there at Hey Y'all Listen Up, that Isaac Asimov is a great writer. The Foundation series is really great. Michael Everts over there at Fit to Be Read also says wonderful things about Isaac Asimov and his books. He's been doing a lot of great about science fiction and his favorite books and his top however many. And he's also been interviewing authors over there and compiling recommendations. If you like science fiction, I'd say keep an eye on both of those channels and what they've been talking about. Michael Everts from Fit to Be Read is also why I've been inspired to want to read the Benty trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor. Clearly, I think that's way too many books for me to get to, especially because September, I'm just going to have a busy life in general with my work and everything going on. But on top of all that, I'll say one more thing, which is for a long time now, I've wanted to get into the Expanse series. But this year, I've been trying to prioritize finishing series. I think I have finished enough series now, though, that I could start some of these other series. And I have been neglecting science fiction this year, really. So it'd be great to start the Expanse series, be able to read those books, and then watch the TV series as well, because I've been putting that off wanting to read them. Whew, that's a lot. That is a whole lot to get to. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you participating in these readathons, read-alongs? Are you participating in others? Your thoughts about Book Trek 2022, SciFiSeptember, Shaketember, Shorty September, or just your thoughts in general. If you want to let me know what you are reading, especially if you don't have your own videos that you're making about your reading, please put some lists down below. If you have any thoughts about the specific authors or books I mentioned, I'd love to hear that as well. Because I feel like every day is a good day for a book talk, and especially Tuesdays, because that's when the Lit Show happens. Peace.